All right. Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechakodash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone with Ruwa. And I want to give peace, greetings, and salutations to all the elect Akim that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity, throughout the four corners of the earth. And the brothers that's not wavering in the faith, being diligent in this truth. I say shalom to you brothers, and I say shalom, to the few sisters that believe in all meekness and humbleness. I say shalom. I'm your brother Zakaria from GMS Miami Camp. And Lord willing, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash, Adon Rataza, that means Lord willing. So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect of the nation Israel, And my lesson today, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash, is going to be basically on the nuclear missiles. All right. The nuclear missiles that's prophesied in the Bible. All right. The scriptures call them arrows. All right. The scriptures call them arrows as different code names. All right. For those missiles, man. That's going to ultimately hit America, which is Babylon the Great. All right. And it's written in the Bible. And our job as prophets of Yahweh Bashim Shai is to declare these things. All right. All right. To declare these things before they happen. All right, and we're in the midst, we're in the beginning of stages of World War III. So, I'm going to just roll through the spirit, and Lord willing, is edifying to the elect. This book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So there's a time and there's a season for everything. All right, and we're coming in a time of war, as it's just going to go into, man. I'm going to jump down. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, and verse 8. It says, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And we're in a time of hate and a time of war. All right. Nuclear war. All right. There's different articles about nuclear war. All right. But we know that before World War III happens, all right, that a Quran has to be made mandatory. All right. All right. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man is going to try to get his new world order. He's going to try to cause everyone to receive a Quran in their right hand and their forehead. All right, those who take it going to be caught up in that fire, man. They're going to be caught up in the destruction. All right, World War III, all right, the fire. All right, so there's a time of war. And this war is going to be with burning and fuel of fire, as the scripture says. All right. So like it. 69 and 96. Yeah. This book, Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. All right, the ancient battles were with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. It says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So let's get some images, on ancient war. Ancient wars. Just put ancient wars and go to images. So they would be fought with spears. All right. They would be fought with spears and shields. All right, bow and arrows. All right, horses. All right, this is how the ancient battles were fought. All right, shields, swords, with confused noise, garments rolled in blood. They'll stab each other, things like that. Yeah, elephants. So every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this World War III, all right. Nuclear bombs. This is what the time we're coming to. This war ain't gonna be back and forth. Your country line up against this country. We just clash together on the battlefield. No, this is what's gonna happen. All right, they're just gonna shoot those intercontinental ballistic missiles from one part of Earth into another. All right, this is gonna happen. All right, that nuclear fire, that wind. All right, scripture's talking about the beast of destruction. All right, we're going to get those precepts too, Lord willing. So this is going to be a burning and fuel of fire. All right. All right, let's go to this word, intercontinental ballistic missile. Our ICBM, see what it means. All right. So this is what it says over here in the corner. It says an intercontinental ballistic missile, meaning it go from one continent. It's gonna come from one continent to another. It says is a ballistic missile with a minimum range of 5,000 kilometers, primarily designed for nuclear weapons delivery. Uh, conventional, conventional chemical and biological weapons can also be delivered from varying effectiveness, but have never been deployed on ICBMs. All right, so they can go from a long range missiles that can go from one part of Earth to another. All right, as this picture say right here. So they're gonna come from one side of the Earth all the way to another. All right. So let's get and brothers been doing videos on this for years. You know, brothers, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. But this book of Second Edges 16, Second Edges is in the Apocrypha, right, which Esau took it out the Apocrypha. All right, the Bible, the destruction. You can look up that history on that. All right, but it's a part of the Bible. Some people say, "Oh, what is that? Why you have a red book? All right, why you have two books in your hand?" Because if you read the 1611, all right, if you got the 1611 Bible, the book of the Apocrypha is in it. All right, Esau took it out. All right, because there's a lot of history in there about about the Greek Empire, how we became Gentiles, how the 10 tribes, the Northern Kingdom came over here to America. All right, all right. There's a lot of history in that book, and a lot of prophecies as we're reading right now. All right, so this is book of Second Ezra chapter 16 in verse. I start at verse 1. The point is in. Bear with me. The point is in 13, but I start at verse 1. It says, "Woe be unto thee, Babylon," all right, America, and Asia. "Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Assyria." Egypt and Syria. I mean, death and destruction. It says, "Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair, and bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand." Why does the scripture say, "Bewail your children"? All right, because why? Those missiles, when they shot off, they ain't gonna have no pity on them. As I said with Isaiah 13, the Lord gonna stare at the spirits of the Medes, meaning those the Russians, because they live in the ancient, all right, well, in the land map. The land of the ancient Medes, which was the sons of Japheth. All right, all right. So this is Isaiah chapter 13 in verse. Bear with me. Isaiah 13 and verse 17. It says, "Behold, I will stare as the Medes against them." The modern day Medes are the Russians. Against who? Babylon the Great, America, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in them. Their bows also shall dash the young men into pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children, because when those missiles hit, all right, it's not gonna care if you're a child. You're not gonna care if you a old lady, a young man. When those missiles hit, it's gonna destroy everything. It's gonna destroy everything in the land. All right, so bewail your children. All right, for your destruction is at hand. What you're gonna be before the nuclear destruction? Gonna be famines. All right, more earthquakes, more floods, more tornadoes, more riots. All right, that's the time we're coming to. Second Ezra 16 verse 3. "A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back?" Because the Lord is sending the sword. And who's going to turn back the sword? Nobody. It says, "A fire is sent among you, and who shall quench it?" That nuclear fire. "Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?" These are questions. No, when the judgment is set, when those nuclear missiles are shot off, nobody's going to be able to return it back, man. All right, bear with me. Nobody's going to be able to stop the judgment of Yahweh Shema Shah. All right. All right. Second Ezra 6 and 5. "Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May a man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when it have begun to burn? Can any man turn away a hungry lion in the wood? A hungry lion, all right, he see a prey. What man is going to be able to turn him back from that prey? Just how when those missiles shot, who's going to be able to fly up in the air and stop it? Nobody. And the scriptures say your defenses is not going to work. All right, your S-400s and stuff like that, that's not going to work. All right, it's not going to work. Yahweh Shai said it, and it's going to happen. All right, verse 7. May one turn away the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. All right, a strong archer, man, that using a bow and arrow. Can anyone turn? Can you when that arrow is being shot off? Can anyone stop that arrow from going? No. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues. Yahweh Shai send the plagues. And who is he that can drive them away? Nobody. A fire shall go forth from his wrath. And who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? Because the Lord, he's coming back with fire, all right, with those missiles, and also fire from the chariots, so-called UFOs, which is in the Bible. In the same way our Lord left, all right, you read that in Acts the first chapter, he was caught up in the cloud, he was caught up in the UFO. It's the same way he's going to return. Scripture say, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. All right, that's another, all right, weapon that the Lord is going to use to destroy this place, all right, and destroy Esau's army. But that's another topic. We're going into the missiles right now, but the Lord, he's coming back, also come back with the mighty angels, and he's going to deliver the elect from this fire, all right, from this third world war, all right. Verse 11, the Lord shall threaten, but who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? Because you see that movie in War of the Worlds, I believe. They had that called alien. They had an alien invasion, and when the aliens shot the arrows, shot the laser beams, the people that was running there was turned into powder because they got that from the scriptures. All right. Verse 12, the earth quaketh in the foundation thereof. The sea arises up in the waves. So like it says, in the waves from the deep, and the ways of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. Because the Lord comes, when the Lord's come back, it's going to be like a time never before. All right. The earth going to shake, man. The scripture say, when those missiles hit, the earth going to reel to and fro like a drunk, man. All right. Verse 13, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. All right. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp. Talk about those missiles. And shall not miss. They shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. All right. So the ends of the world. So they're going to come from one side of the world to another part to the side of the world, man. Verse 14, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth, which the whole earth is not going to be destroyed. We say the earth body forever. Ecclesiastes 3. Ecclesiastes 3 or Ecclesiastes 1? No, it's not 3. Maybe it's 3. I'll check. One generation. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. Yeah. One generation passes away and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. All right, so the earth is going to be here. It's just going to be, all right, fire upon the earth. All right. Scripture say he's going to make a new heaven and new earth, which is going to be a new rulership, and the earth is going to be refreshed, all right, by these missiles, man. Earth, all right. Isaiah 24. Isaiah 24 verse, bear with me. Isaiah 24:19. It says, the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. All right. By those missiles. All right. It says the earth, verse 20, Isaiah 24:20. It says the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, like a man, all right, taking, all right, too much tequila or vodka, and he's stumbling. That's how the earth is going to reel to and fro. It says, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. All right, and Babylon's going to fall. Let's get that. Revelation 18. All right, so many scriptures about the missiles, man. And we're gonna get let's get it. It says, after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried with a strong voice, saying, Babylon is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils. Babylon the Great is America. The habitation of devils are going into what it's going to read. It says, in the hold of every foul spirit, in the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So only thing that's going to be here is desert creatures, all right, creeping things, all right. No man is going to ever inhabit the earth. Babylon the Great, so like it. The man is going to inhabit the earth, but they're not gonna. America is never going to be inhabited. All right, let's get it. Plenty of scriptures on it. Isaiah 13. Isaiah 13 and verse. Well, I'll read 17 again. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. We broke that down as the Russians. And all these nations that bend the bow, because the scriptures say that also. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And we know what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. The Lord overthrew it with fire, right, because of the wickedness and the lifestyles, right, which death styles that they was living. All right, and the Lord sent fire upon Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities. All right, and only saved Lot and his two daughters. Everybody else burned. They got burned to death. Right, the Lord destroyed them. All right, because of their actions, their ways, man. And so just how Sodom and Gomorrah got overthrown, the Lord sent fire from heavens. The Lord now in these times, he had the nuclear sciences to make these to split these atoms. We're gonna go into that too. To create those bombs. That's how America's gonna go down. Letter is Isaiah 54, Isaiah 59. Probably Isaiah 54. Isaiah 54:16, yeah. I'm going to that. Bear with me, I'm just setting up right quick. What is it called? Manhattan Project. Onto that. What's it do name? There you go. All right, so let's get back to this. How America's not going to be inhabited. Isaiah 13:20 says, "It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dealt in from generation to generation." Talking about America. All right, it's not talking about ancient Babylon because ancient Babylon is still inhabited. All right, was it Iraq? All right, it's still inhabited. Neither shall Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there. So that's what the cage of unclean, all right, spirits and all those hateful birds. This is what it's talking about. Wild beasts of the desert shall lie there. Their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. Owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses. and dragons in their pleasant palaces. Her time is near to come, and her day shall not be prolonged. Because the Lord got a certain time for Esau to rule. Job 14. Job 14 and verse 4 says, who can bring an unclean thing? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Because Esau is made to be that unclean thing. He's the wicked that the Bible speaks of. He's the wicked that go throughout the earth, that and creates death and destroy things. So he cannot be cleansed. All right, verse 5 says, seeing his days are determined and the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass, because he has a certain time. We just talked about there's another one in Job, months, cut off in his months, roughly paraphrasing. You don't get it. Job 21 and 21. Let's start at verse. Let's get some. All right, come on. That's a good chapter right here. Yeah, we can get this because it's going to go into Babylon, how great the Babylon is, but when those missiles hit, everything's going to be gone, man. All right, bear with me. Outside of verse 7, Job 21 and 7 says, wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, they are mighty in power. Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. All right, because the Lord has a certain time for them to rule. The Lord gave Esau that blessing, the fatness of the earth, and by the sword he shall live. So that's how the queen, all right, these Rothschilds, Rockefellers, they're up in age. All right, and there's the main one who's controlling this so-called new NWO, but it's going to come to naught. Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear. Neither is the rod of the Most High upon them, but the Lord let their iniquity build up. Just how he did with the Ammonites or Canaanites. All right, bear with me. Verse 9. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of Yahweh upon them. Their bull genereth and faileth not. Their cow calveth and casteth out her calf. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance. All right, and scriptures talk about this is that rejoicing city, right? That careless city. All right, that the Lord's gonna bring down. It's gonna bring it to naught. It says, they take the timbrel and harp and rejoice at the sound of the organ. It says they spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. This is the rich. Therefore they say unto the Most High, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. That's what the wicked say. All right. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit shall we have if we pray unto him? And, Esau know that the Most High rejected him. So who they pray unto? They pray unto Satan, right? And demons and stuff like that, which alternates, right? The left hand, all right? Verse 16, lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. Verse 17, how oft is the candle of the wicked put out? How oft cometh their destruction upon them? The Most High disputeth sorrows in his anger. They are as stubble before the wind, and as chaff that the storm carrieth away. Lord gonna burn them up. The Most High layeth up his iniquity for his children. He rewardeth him, and he shall know it. His eyes shall see his destruction, and he shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty. All right. What pleasure have he in his house after him, when the number of his months is cut off in the midst? All right, because he's gonna be have trying to fill his belly, and the Lord gonna cut him off, man. All right, the Lord's gonna cut him off. Let's prove another point right quick before I go to that Isaiah, and I got Revelation 18 on that too. So Isaiah 21, Isaiah 14:21. Said his children. It says he layeth up iniquities for his children. All right, and what they did to the children of Israel. All right, slavery. All right, rape, murder, robbery. They gotta pay for that. Isaiah 14:21 says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess a land nor fill the face of the world with cities. So they're getting prepared for slaughter. But if you know about if you know about reincarnation, they are their forefathers coming back. For I will raise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and will cut off from Babylon. So we're just talking about Babylon, America, the name and remnant, and the son and nephew, saith the Lord. And I will make it a possession of this is spirit. It says, and I will make it a possession for the veteran in pools of water, and will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts. So the Lord's gonna sweep this thing with those missiles. All right. Look at this word veteran. Porcupine head carriage. A screeching animal. All right. A screeching animal. Zechariah 2. See, these are Isaiah 34. But the cormorant and bittern shall possess it, and the owls also and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. Because you're not gonna tell which is the Isaiah 34:11. You're not gonna be able to tell Georgia from Florida, or New York from New Jersey, or South Dakota from North Dakota. This shit gonna be totally destroyed. Zephaniah 2:14, and flock shall lie down in the midst of her, all beasts of nations, both the cormorant and the bittern shall lodge in the upper intals of it. Their voices shall sing in the windows, desolation shall be in the thresholds, for she shall uncover the cedar wood. So this is all talking about the destruction of America, these precepts right here, and what's going to be dwelling in this land. All right, what's going to be in this land. All right, so the Lord said He's going to sweep it with the besom of destruction. All right, and screeching animals gonna lie here, and wild beasts of the desert. This verse 24. The Lord of hosts hath sworn, meaning the Lord of armies hath sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand. So the Lord's prophecy is gonna stand. So let's get this. Isaiah 34 and verse 16. Isaiah 34:16 is like, behold, I have created a smith that bloweth the coals in a fire, that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created a waster to destroy us. So the Lord said, behold, he hath created a smith. Look at his word, smith. What is a smith? Karasha. I'm saying it right. It says a craftsman, artisan, engraver, graver, artificial, graver. All right, skillful to destroy warriors. All right, so someone who creates things, a craftsman. So a fabricator of any material, carpenter, craftsman, engraver, maker, mason, skillful worker. You know, so a smith, someone who's create things, a craftsman. So the Lord said He created a smith that bloweth. Bear with me, let me read it. Bear with me. So behold, Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created a smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created a waster to destroy. All right. So the Lord's created a waster to destroy. Talking about those missiles. All right. Let's go a little bit on this Manhattan Project. I'm not gonna read all of it. Just read some of it. The Manhattan Project was. Let me zoom in. That's all right. So it says the Manhattan Project was a research and development undertaken during World War II that produced the first nuclear weapons. It was led by the United States. United States, of course. All right, Babylon the Great, with the support of the UK and Canada. All right, I believe that's I would say like they're part of NATO. NATO. All right, that's where you get Esau. America is the whore that rideth the beast. All right, you got NATO, the EU. All right, which is controlled by America. It says from 1942 to 1946, the project was under the direction of General Leslie Groves of the United States Corps of Engineers. Nuclear physicist Robert Oppenheimer was the director of the Los Alamos laboratory that designed the actual bombs. The Army component of the project was designated the Manhattan District, as its first headquarters was in Manhattan. I think it's New York. Yeah, the place name gradually superseded the official code name. Development of substitute materials for the entire project. Along the way, the project absorbed its earlier British counterparts, two alloys. So it goes into that. It goes into the different types. You can read more on that. So that was it was headed by uh, nuclear uh, physicist Robert Oppenheimer. All right. So it says Robert J. Oppenheimer was an American theoretical physicist. If I'm saying it right, like it, who was professor of physics at the University of California, Berkeley. But look at his quotes that he said, though. There it goes. Popped up. The story of Oppenheimer's infamous quote as he witnessed the first detonation of a nuclear weapon on July 16th, 1945. So like a piece of Hindu script ran through the mind of Robert Oppenheimer. I am now become death, the destroyers of worlds. All right, so the Lord created these nuclear scientists. I mainly from Tima, all right, with Germans, all right, because I believe after World War II, all right, some of the nuclear scientists went to America, all right, I think some went to Russia, you know, if I'm not mistaken, you know, so the Lord created these nuclear scientists to have these missiles be made. Right? It's all the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema, you know, and now all these nations has missiles. All right, bear with me. And we go back to that Revelation 18. Chapter 3. In verse 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, means these other nations, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords. Yeah, so the Lord said, let all the men of war come up. Why? To where? To the valley of Jehoshaphat, meaning Yahweh Shaphat. All right, this is the time of Armageddon. All right, we believe in the mountain troops. All right, verse 10, it says, which is over there in the Middle East, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. So they beating it. They instead of investing in agriculture materials and stuff like that, they're putting their money into weapons. All right, they're putting money into these nuclear weapons. That's why you got North Korea, all right, Japan, all right, India, Pakistan, all right, with missiles and stuff. I believe India, Pakistan, North Korea. Then they got nuclear missiles. Let me see. Bear with me. I don't want to quote it. Countries with nuclear weapons. Yep. U.S., Russia, France, China, the U.K., Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea. It's probably more because Russia's going to be a guard to these other nations. All right. And Russia's going to dish them missiles out, man. All right, it says are estimated to possess roughly 12,700 nuclear warheads. The emanated chart above by creator James Eagle shows the military stockpile of nuclear weapons that each country has possessed since 1945, which they're going into how when they created those missiles, man. You know, so let the weak say I'm strong. So weak countries would be like Pakistan, India, Israel. Well, not, Israel is part of America, so it'd be like Pakistan, India, North Korea, and Israel gonna be destroyed, man, because they got the devils in our land, man. All right, and there's more countries, you know. So let the weak say I'm not strong. They're strong now because they have, all right, the great equalizer. They got, if y'all shoot missiles over there, we can shoot missiles at you. Verse 11: Assemble yourselves and come, all you heathens, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord, talking about the angels. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, meaning Yahweh's reply, meaning the Most High judgment. But there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And the Lord's going to judge the heathens, their army, because what they did to Israel. Let's get that. Zephaniah 3:8. It says, Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations. So the Lord is gathering these nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat in the Middle East. All right. I believe Apostle Art call it the Levant, or the scriptures call it, well, they call it the Levant. All right. So that's word Levant. I'm spelling it right. Eastern Mediterranean and Western. Levant is approximately a historiographical term for referring to a large area in the Eastern Mediterranean region of Western Asia. All right. So there's going to be a war. All right, Middle East over there, man. So let's go back to Zephaniah. Zephaniah 3:8 says, Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms and pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So the Lord's going to gather these nations that that touched us. All right, He's going to judge them. All right, let's go to Joel 3. Joel 3:1. For behold, the days come, said the behold the day like for behold in those days in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, talking about Israel. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and plead with them there for my people Israel, meaning judge them, for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations and parted my land. So all these nations had a part of our downfall. So that's why the Lord's gathering them in the valley of Jehoshaphat to judge them. All right. Verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come and get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So the day of the Lord is near. All right. So let's go back to Revelation 18. Revelation 18, verse 2. It says, and he cried he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon is fallen. That's how America's going to fall. All right, by those missiles being shot off. All right. And is become the habitation of devils, in the hold of every foul spirit, in the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So we got the understanding of that. Screeching animals, desert creature, owls. Should we talk about vultures? Vultures, I believe. Those are big animals, those big birds. All right, that eat us all in flesh. All right, verse 18. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, meaning the philosophies. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy, because all these nations are rich off America's. Because America buys their supplies. America imports a lot. They don't really export. So all these nations, they get rich because America brings in their supplies. That's why if you go to Walmart, it say made in China, made in India, different products, made in Brazil, made in Mexico, which America controls those the Northern Kingdom, those Latin countries, stuff like Esau runs it. I'm talking about like India, Saudi Arabia, and stuff like that. They get their riches. I mean, they sell their stuff here to get their riches. They wax rich through the abundance for delicacy. Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come down, come out of her, my people." So I heard a voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her plague, of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, that ye be not partakers of her sins." So this is the Lord calling up the elect into the chariot, so-called Yefo. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High has remembered her iniquities. Because this is that sinful kingdom that the Lord is going to destroy from off the face of the earth. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. All right. So the Lord's going to judge these places with double destruction. Let's get some precepts about this fire before I continue on that. About these missiles. Lord, when I get them, there's a lot of precepts on it. Is thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. All right, a destroying wind. That destroying wind. All right. So the Lord's gonna send this destroying wind to Babylon the Great. All right. As you see this place flourishing right now, well, the Lord is plaguing this place really, but as America was flourishing, the Lord's gonna bring this thing down in an hour. Verse 2, I will send unto Babylon famines that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth let the archer bend his bow. Going into 2nd 16. And against him that lifteth up his bringadine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utter all her hosts. Look at this word brigandine. It's his armor. All right. Lift up his armor against him that lifted up himself up in his bringadine or armor, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts, meaning her army. All right. Thus, verse 4, thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldees of Babylon, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God. Talking about us, the Israelites. For the Lord of hosts through their land, so though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquities, for it is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. All right, so the Lord said, flee, meaning mentally, because the only way we're gonna be delivered is by those missiles. By those chariots, like it. Only way he's gonna be delivered by those missiles. By those chariots, like it. Those missiles are coming. The Lord's gonna deliver us via the chariots from the missiles. Man, I got distracted. Verse verse 7. And Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. They are drunken off the philosophies. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right. They was cool, but now they're mad. All right. And they took on the philosophy of this place, man. It says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take bond for her. If so, she may be healed. It's fallen. We will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. She is not healed. Let's get this. Brother Samak put me on this years ago. The water. Debt clock. U.S. debt clock. We would have healed Babylon. She is not healed. Look at this. Like what that Kevin Hart. Look at this. Is a U.S. total debt trillions, man, trillions. National debt. Look at this. Look at this. 30 trillion, man. Look at this. Babylon is over. It is finished. All right. We would have healed Babylon, Jeremiah 51:9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go, everyone, into his own country. For her judgment reaches out to heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. The Lord hath brought forth his righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our power, and make bright the arrows. Gather the shields. Gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, Russians. For his device is against Babylon to destroy, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple, man. Stand up and set up a standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen, prepare the ambush, for the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. All right. So the Lord, he has, all right, vengeance. He has it out for Babylon, and the Lord's going to destroy this place. Verse 25, Jeremiah 51:25 says, Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. Mountain represents governments, and America is the top government right now. So the Lord said he's going to burn you. He's going to make this destroying mountain. The Lord's going to make it a burnt mountain. And they shall not take thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for a foundation, but thou shalt be desolate forever, saith the Lord. All right. All right. Turn down to verse. Well, I'll continue reading. Set up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together the nations, call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Mini, and Ashkenaz. Appoint a captain against her, cause the horses to come up and the rough caterpillars. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. All right. So the Lord said it's not gonna be all right inhabited again, man. Bear with me. See what else we have. All right. Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 51, Jeremiah 50. Some chapters go hard, man. Jeremiah 50 in verse. I'll get to the point. I don't want to make this lesson too long. It says, verse 13. Nope. Verse 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. Let me see. All right, yeah. Verse, bear with me. Bear with me. Let's start verse 11. Because you rejoice, O ye destroyers of my heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellows as bulls. Going into how, America's, just live lavishly, How did they get rich? By slavery, by our labor, free labor, man. All right, free labor. Let's get this. Slavery in Americas. Put Americas because South Central North America. They had the North. They had us. They had Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom. You know, this is how they got rich, man. What do you think is gonna happen in this place, man? What do you think is gonna happen to Babylon the Great, man? Look at this. What do you think gonna happen to this place, man? Yeah, how about Shema Shah gonna destroy this shit, man? Because ye were glad, because ye rejoice, oh ye destroyers of my heritage, man. Precept. Micah, was it 1? Micah 3. Micah chapter 2. Bear with me. Micah? Yeah, Micah 2. Yeah, Micah 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that advise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. In the morning, when the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. They covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. And that, so they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage, man. Oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. They say we was going to discontinue from our heritage. Your Lord used Esau. He didn't do that. Right? But the Lord says there's a judgment for that because you touched the apple of the Lord's eye and you afforded affliction. All right. Let's go back to Jeremiah. Verse 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded on my Great Britain. Because America she came out of Great Britain. I believe the breakdown goes into Revelation, the 17th chapter. I believe America was that 8th, if I'm not mistaken. All right, well, America came out of Great Britain. All right, because you had America, you had Esau's great empires. You had Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Germania Major, Germania Minor. You got Britain, and you got America. All right, those great empires that Esau ruled. If I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, the mother shall be sore confounded because what? They're the so-called founding fathers, they all came from Europe. All right. It says, she that bury you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness. Talking about here in America. And a dry land and desert. Because of the wrath of the Lord of hosts, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and shall hiss at her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord. So the Lord says, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. All right. It's likened unto a bow. It's a nice image right there. And you got YouTube videos on missiles, Russia, ICBM. It looked like an arrow, you know. So let's go back. That was it on there. Let's go to Joel real quick. Joel 2. Blow a trumpet in Zion, and alarm, and sound alarm in my holy mountain. Zion is a people before this place. Zion in the Hebrew, meaning a monument. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh. For it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day so as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more, for after it to the years of many generation. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. He's talking about the missiles, man. All right. The Lord's going to set these missiles up to go against America. A flame devoured them, and behind them a flame devoured before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, because it's all pleasant right now. And behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. So nothing's going to be escaping missiles. So the Lord's going to put these missiles in array against Babylon. All right. Verse 4, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run, meaning they're going to go with power. All right. They're going to come with speed, power. All right. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. So just like an army will be set in battle array in formation, the Lord's going to have these missiles in formation to come against this place. All right. Go back to this. No, this one. They're going to be arrayed. There's an image. Bear with me. Let's give a better depiction of it. It was like all shooting at the same time. I just put in missiles. Missiles. Just like this right here. This is a good image right here. So they're gonna be in array. They're gonna be in formation. Bear with me. Well, as a people set in battle array. Verse 6. Before their face the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like the men of war. They shall they shall march, and they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. All right, they're not gonna break ranks. All right, they're gonna be targeted to hit. All right, when that fire hits, it's gonna bring that big mushroom cloud. All right, it's gonna come up upon the walls. It's gonna devour everything. All right. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk. So they shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. What is that talking about? When they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. What does that mean? All right, let's go to the S500s. Missiles. S500. Defense. These are defense. All right. These are defense systems. All right. So when a missile be shot off, I believe it shoots another missile to stop it. All right. It stops. Basically, a defense system stops. All right, another missile from hitting it. But it says it's going to break through that. It shall not be wounded. And you got reports that America's defense system don't work. All right, some of them, even America's own allies going to shoot their missiles against them. All right, verse 9. I just want to say that they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter into the houses, into the windows like a thief. They gonna come fast, and they catch these people unaware. The earth shall quake before them. This is how you know it's talking about missiles. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. A day of darkness and gloominess. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executes his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. Who can abide in it? All right. So that's going into the destruction, man. All right, that day of the Lord is going to be great. Who can be able to abide in it, man? All right, there's many more precepts. You got Isaiah 34. You got Revelation 17. Their own enemies. Let's get that real quick. I got Revelation 18 on deck. So many precepts. I don't even know how long I went right now. Revelation 17 and verse get to the point. I quoted it. I said it, but this is the scripture that prove it. Actually, let's go. Revelation 17 and 1 says, and there came one of the seven angels which had seven vials. All right, meaning that destruction. All right, the seventh trumpet is going to destroy this place, man. All right. It says, and talk with me, saying unto me, come thither, and I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So let's use that whore that sitteth upon many waters. Revelation 17 and 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest are the whore, where the whore sitteth are people, multitudes, language, and nations and tongues, because while America is that great melting pot. Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, talking about NATO, the EU, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So America and allies going to shoot this place and burn them up, man. It's like it. Verse 17. For Yahweh have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give the kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High should be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is the great city, which reigneth upon over the kings of the earth. That's how you know it's talking about Babylon. That great city. It's talking about what? Babylon. What it says. Well, it's going to go down. The great city. So the Lord said, he's going to redouble unto them for what they did. Verse 8. Revelation 17 and 7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. That's the mindset of these Babylonians, all right, the Americans. Therefore shall her place come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For the Lord, for a strong is the Lord power who judges her. All right, so this place is gonna be destroyed in one day, one hour. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. All right, because they're gonna see this place getting burned up, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, at last, that great city Babylon, all right, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So let's link up Esau to the daughter of Babylon right quick. These people say, oh, what you talking about? Isaiah, no, Psalms 135, I believe. 134, Psalms 135, Psalms 135. One 139. 137. Psalms 137. It says, remember, Psalms 137 verse 7 says, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, which is Jerusalem, talking about Israel, who said, race it, meaning destroy it, even the foundation thereof. All right, because why? When the Babylonians was getting taken by the Babylonians, Esau came in there and destroyed the temple. As is the book of Ezra's, second Ezra, first Ezra, second Ezra. You can read that, how they burnt the temple, man. Even to the foundation of verse Psalms 137, verse 8. It says, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. So you link up Esau to the daughter of Babylon. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dashed thy little one against a stone. That's going to happen in the kingdom. All right. Revelation 18. All right. So that's how you know Esau is controlling Babylon. Verse 10, Revelation 18:10 says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, at last, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. All right. The Lord said he's gonna make a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. Zephaniah 1:14 on down. He is the last verse of Zephaniah. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and of linen, of fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manners of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble. So they gonna weep because all this shit is gonna be destroyed. All right. Well, nobody's gonna be able to buy their. America's gonna be destroyed, so they're not gonna be able to sell these things. All right, and the mercenary, for no man buy her merchandise no more. All right, in this place, nothing's gonna be here. You know, precious wood, brass, and iron and marble. Verse 13. It says, in cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. Slaves talking about us. All right. Souls of men, people sell their soul in this place. And the fruits that thy soul lusteth after her are departed from thee. And all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee. Going into I believe that's going into like fried food and stuff like that. You know, departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. And the merchants of these things which were made rich by her stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, at last, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all this companies and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? This place is over. This place is over, man. This is a good thing. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, at last, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships by the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh hath avenged you on her. So this is a good thing. So we're supposed to rejoice that the Lord is doing this, because the Lord is doing this. He's going to bring the kingdom of heaven unto us, man. All right. He's going to set up a righteous kingdom for us. All right. Let's get this right quick. This is an important precept. 2 Peter 3. This is an important precept. Know how the Lord's bringing fire. All right. This is get to the point. Verse 2 Peter 3:6, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished, going into the time of the Noah. The Lord sent water, to flood this place. Like he made it rain. He took the water from out in the atmosphere, out of the firmament. He basically caused water to come to this place and flood the whole earth. And he had waters from the deeps too to come up. The Lord just flooded the whole earth because of the wickedness. And you want to save Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth and their wives, 8 people. All right, and the animals that was on the ark. Verse 7. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. So the day is reserved for fire. All right. The Lord promised Noah, he used a rainbow, that he was going to flood the earth. He was going to destroy the earth by water. But now he's about to send fire. Verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. I'm talking about those missiles. And the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Yeah, so that's what's coming. Seeing that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? So what type of person are you to be? Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So how should you conduct yourself knowing that these prophecies is going to happen? Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Because the Lord's going to destroy this place and set up the kingdom of heaven for the nation of Israel. And all these nations going into slavery under us. All right, Revelation 18 and verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea. All right, talking about those missiles, saying, thus with violence shall that great city be overthrown. Such that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. The voices of harpers and musicians and of pipers and tempers, trumpeters, shall be heard no more at all in thee. All right, because where is the most popular music come from? Here in America. Because why? The Israelites are here, man. And no craftsman and whatsoever craft he be shall be found no more at all in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more in thee at all. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of a bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more in thee at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. But this is a wicked place, man. Verse 24, and in her was found the blood of prophets and the saints, and of all that were slain upon the earth. So the Lord is going to judge this place, because why? Revelation 19, I'll end off on this. And after these things, I heard a voice of much people in heaven saying, Alleluia. Salvation and glory, honor and power unto the Lord our power. For true and righteousness are his judgment. For he hath judged the great whore, America, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, and have avenged the blood of his. So the Lord's going to avenge the blood of his servants at her hand. And again they said, Alleluia, for her smoke rose up forever and ever. All right. So this smoke is going to rise up for a very long time. All right. So, the Lord winning this lesson was edifying to the elect, the elect of the nation of Israel. And the nation of Israel, you still call Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are also the Israelite foreigners that scattered amongst the nation. That lineage go back to the 12 tribes according to their fathers. You are true Hebrew Israelites. And the Lord's waking up the elect. So, Lord winning is edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rechakodash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone, Jerusalem. And I want to give all peace, greetings, salutations to all the elect Akim that's pushing his word and truth and sincerity. And Shalom Akim, keep pushing, keep it knowing. Shalom. Wow, Papa Paul.